Okay guys, we are getting started today with no foreplay because I forgot to record an intro for this video. I was getting ready to go see Panic at the Disco at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, so I was super excited and just thought, I'm probably going to do an elevated kind of makeup, why not film it? So that's what I did. Later on in the video, there will actually be some live talking and stuff like that because I remembered, oh hey, maybe I should film an outro. Unfortunately, I forgot the damn intro. What are you gonna do? So here I'm just sort of rolling my hair in rollers away from my face. This is a way that I like to use rollers when I'm actually gonna be wearing the hair down in a more modern type style because it just kind of gives me a little bit of wave and soft curl and that kind of thing. And mostly I was putting it in these waves with the hot rollers just for practice because I haven't done it in a while. But also I just wanted a little bit of a bend to the hair because I'm going to be wearing it in an updo, so the curls don't really matter that much. And I'm going to be wearing a hat on top of that, so I knew all of this beforehand going into doing the hairstyle, so this was sort of practice, but I thought I would show you guys the process since you're going to see me with the rollers in my hair the whole rest of the way. What I'm doing is I'm rolling the hair up, and by rolling it up, it actually gives you a bit more of a modern type of wavy curl thing, and also it's going to give you a bit more volume, at least for me personally, than for rolling it down, which will give me more of a rockabilly vintage vibe to the curls or the waves or whatever you want to call it. So that's what's going on here. I like using the hot rollers because it's a little bit less direct heat versus using something like a curling iron. There's Rocco. So here we have my whole head all curled up, and here in the back you'll really see how I'm just putting like large bunches of hair around the larger rollers just to get a little bit of bend in there. So for my brows today, I'm using the Pixie Brow palette thing, which I'm not showing you, and a Smith Cosmetics brush. It just gives me a nice clean brow. Of course, we're going to go crazy with the brows later, but I at least had the initial lay down of something sort of kind of normal. Using the Smashbox 24-hour eyeshadow primer. It's great stuff. And for shadows today, I'll be using the NYX Ultimate palettes, which are awesome. I'm starting out with the Warm Neutrals palette and a quill brush from Smith Cosmetics. This brush is really fantastic because of that pointed shape, you can apply a little bit less product at first and map out something like a crease, which is exactly what I'm doing. Just kind of being conservative about the placement of it at first because I don't want to overdo it, because if I apply the eyeshadow too high, it can start to look a little crazy. So I get that initial lay down, and then I'll pick up a little bit more product. You can see there's way more on the brush there. And then I can press a little bit harder, and you're going to get more of a blend because it's such a big fluffy brush. But to really diffuse it and really blend it out, I'm going to be using another brush. This one's from Wayne Goss. And I love the hairs on this. They're so incredibly soft that they just diffuse things beautifully. But this is not really a brush I would go to for like a strong application, but that's why I'm using it to then add the Sugar Pill Poison Plum, which is a very pigmented, very strong eyeshadow, and I just want that to be a wash over the red brown to create a burgundy color. So I'm using that lighter brush. You don't have to use Wayne Goss, and you don't have to use Smith, you don't have to use Sugar Pill for that matter. You don't have to use anything that I'm using, but I'm trying to teach you the techniques of using a lighter brush that's very soft and not as dense for doing a wash of color with a really strong eyeshadow. What I'm doing here now is a technique of layering and blending where you take successively lighter colors. So originally I had the red brown, which we layered up with the purple, which were about the same in terms of depth. And now I'm taking a lighter, cooler tone, kind of pinky purple, we can call it periwinkle if you want, type of a color to diffuse that out a little bit more. And I'll be using another light pink color before it's all said and done with to blend this out, but first I'm going to use a highlight. So this is from the Cool Neutral palette. By the way, the other pink that I used is from the Brights palette. These palettes are really impressive. I am quite surprised with the quality. I guess I shouldn't be, but I wasn't that big of a fan of the NYX, I think they're called Pop something, Avant Pop, or I can't remember honestly, but these are fantastic and have completely blown me away. And that, though, I'm sorry, this is the periwinkle color. I don't know. The other one was light pink. This one's periwinkle. It doesn't matter. Bottom line, all of these colors together give me the most beautiful blend. I was really impressed with how the blend of this came out. In fact, I will totally use this exact combination over and over and over now because I think it looks really great. And just blend the crap out of it. Murder it with blending. So next I'm taking the NYX Glitter Primer. This is pretty cool stuff. This is actually the first time I've used it, but I'm using it similarly to how I like to use the Too Faced Glitter Glue. Or maybe this one's called Glitter Primer, whatever, same product basically. And what I like to do is use this as a base for pigments as well as for glitters. This is a Makeup Geek pigment called Hologram, and can we just have a moment for how incredibly beautiful this pigment is? Just lovely. I just adore this pigment. I love the duochromosity of it. Now something interesting is going to happen a little bit later. I won't pretend that I planned this, but it's going to transfer up into the crease and it ends up looking really cool, but that really truly wasn't my intention. I don't know if this transfer is going to be caused by the fact that this is a loose pigment, by the fact that it's super shiny and it's just a textural difference and I have hooded lids, or if it's actually because of the primer. Time will tell with me kind of testing out these products more and more. I ended up really liking it, so it didn't bother me so much. So now what I'm doing is I'm packing on Poison Plum by itself, and I want to briefly mention that Poison Plum is a stiffer, drier, very strong eyeshadow, so it's a great textural product to use to sort of balance out this super shiny eyeshadow. It ends up having a great like velvety look texture. When you blend the two in the outer corner, it looks awesome. So that's something to keep in mind when you're using eyeshadows, is the textural difference between them can be just as important as the colors. So now, of course, the eyeliner mustache, you have to do it. It's a must, right? So for my eyeliner today, I'm using the Urban Decay Perversion Fine Tip Liner. Love this little guy. Because I have hooded lids, I try, when I can remember and when I can make it happen for myself, to do as thin of a line as possible, because it basically the way that I view it is when you do a really thick line, it sort of robs you of your lid space. So when you have a thinner line, you get to keep more of your lid space. It's still more prominent. When you're doing something like this, when you have such a beautiful duochrome color on the lid, you want that to be the star of the show, not some eyeliner. That's just my opinion. Taking a primer from Urban Decay, this stuff is awesome. It's really great at minimizing pores. I think it's called the Optical Illusion Primer. Good stuff. My foundation today is from Makeup Forever. This is the Ultra HD Stick Foundation, which is bomb, like super amazing coverage, and it just photographs fantastic. It looks beautiful. Love this foundation. So initially I laid down the shade Y215. Now I'm using the shade R230, and I'm blending the two together to get my custom match because I'm sort of in between red and yellow. But I do deeply appreciate these foundation lines that have this color-coded system. It makes it extremely easy to understand what colors that you need based on the undertone, because most people have more of a yellow tone or a red tone or somewhere in between, but you know what to mix together. It really doesn't help me out when brands have, you know, colors called like toasted, you know, ivory or something like that. It's not helpful. Ironically, I feel exactly the opposite when it comes to color products like eyeshadows and blushes and lipsticks. I like those to have names because in that case, it's easier for me to remember. I might be alone in this. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below your feelings on the matter. For concealer, I'm using another Makeup Forever product. This is the Full Cover Concealer, which is awesome. Super full coverage, and it photographs beautifully, but it's a little dry, so I wouldn't recommend it for the under eyes for every day. But for something when you need a lot of coverage, it's great. And then there, you can see that transfer into the crease there, and I just decided to go with it. I was like, well, I don't really have time to fix this. Let's just see what blending it out looks like, because before it looked a little bit like creasing, just because, and it's not creased. I want to be very clear. It's not creased. It's just transfer. Putting on a little brow gel there. Oh, I'm going too fast for myself. Okay, powder. Okay, we're moving on. The powder ended up being kind of too dark for me. This is that Wet n Wild one I picked up and showed you guys in my last drugstore haul. Good. I like the powder itself. It actually looks fine in person. You can see here it's a little too deep, and as I wore it throughout the day, it sort of looked a little too deep. But the powder, the texture of it is really great and really impressive for a drugstore brand. So here I'm taking my favorite contour from Lunatic Cosmetics. This contour palette is life to me. You can seriously like just massively over apply it and you'll still be able to blend it out and make your cheek look super soft. It doesn't start to get gritty or dry or dirty looking. This is absolutely my favorite contour. I can't even imagine another contour being better. It's just that good. So then for blush today, I'm using my, oh God, I love this product, the Becca Beach Tint and Fig Opal. It's a beautiful, like moussey, I don't want to call it a cream blush, we'll call it a mousse blush. It's great because you can put it over things like powder and stuff and it doesn't disrupt your foundation. It doesn't make it look kind of funky or weird. This is so cute. Mikey was like, you need to stay hydrated. He came and brought me water, and then I wasn't actually done yet, but he thought I was. I got all over my makeup. It was awesome. Yeah, that was cool. And then for an even shimmerier cheek, I use the NYX Duochromatic powder in Fresh Bloom. This one doesn't work for me as an actual highlight. It's too deep for me, but on the cheeks it's great to add a little bit of shine to my blush. I'm using my actual highlight, which is the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Skin Frost. And by the way, if you don't make sex faces at yourself in the mirror, did you even put the highlight on? Like, did it happen? It's like when a forest, or when a tree falls in the forest, I'm mixing my metaphors, I don't even know what to say. When a tree falls in the forest and there's no one to hear it, did it really happen, or does it make a sound? Anyway, we're moving on. Eyeliner. Purple eyeliner. Yeah, I don't know. I can't help myself. I'm just a geek. So, I used a darker purple first, then a lighter purple. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly the name of this because, again, it's numbered and not named. So I'll have it linked in the description bar down below for you guys. I always try to list out all the products that I use. And here, at first I just sort of blended out the liner with this brush. This is a MAC 239. And then I ended up going over it with Soft Frost, which apparently I didn't get any video footage of. So that's cool. But it's very mild what I ended up doing with it anyway. So for mascara, I'm using the Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara, which is a latex-based tubing mascaras. I tend to prefer these, not because they look super great, because let's be honest, this is not the best lash look in the world, but because they don't transfer, so I don't end up getting that weird raccoon panda eye look. It's just something that is a pet peeve of mine. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I just, no. Then, like I said, I got crazy with my eyebrows. I took a little bit of the mascara into my brows and I liked it. And then I was like, oh, should I do my lips? No, I should brush my teeth. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So then I took down all the rollers from my hair and, oh, and I'm wearing a different top, which is not the top I actually wore out. Taking the hair out of the rollers. I'm showing you this process because I simply wanted you to see what the hair looks like. You could very easily brush this out and do sort of like a normal, what is normal? A average, everyday, modern sort of curly look with it, but I wanted to do an updo. So I'm actually gonna shut up and let myself take over because from here on out, I actually filmed this live for you. So it's been good talking to you in this little voiceover, and I hope you're having a great day, and I'm going to turn it over to Cora now. Was that awkward? Was that cool? Okay, bye. Okay, so my hair is just completely not cooperating with me today in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to do the real quick version of an updo that I've been doing lately. I'm just brushing it all sort of up and to the right side. Kind of gathering it all up, right? Like not a whole lot of rhyme or reason, and you can do a nice little like roll with it if you like. I will sometimes do a roll, and sometimes I'll just sort of try to get it all neat and tidy up as much as possible. And since I'm wearing a hat today, that seems to be the best route. I'll take a couple of bobby pins and just shove them in there. Make sure I get it nice and secure before I remove my fingers. Okay, so we get an idea of where we're going with that. And then I'm actually going to tuck the other hair into this as well and just sort of have like a large, like little poof right there rather than a roll. Because I don't have time to fiddle with the roll. It doesn't really matter to me if the top portion of my hair is like covered in bobby pins and whatnot, because I'm going to cover it with a hat. So the other thing you can do is take the rat end of your brush and just sort of tug some pieces out for a little more volume. Try brushing things certain ways. Okay, cool. So then my fascinator has this little elastic thing on it, which I don't actually really need, but I'm not willing to cut it off yet either, so tuck it into that piece, and then I will find a comfortable way to shove it in there. Taking one little thin hairpin for safety and pinning it to the fascinator and just kind of shoving it in with my hair just to secure everything. I've got a little bit of low-hanging hair back here. Grab another hairpin. Okay. And now for my lips. Wear this ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in Panda. You know, actually, you know, it would look really cool with this. Take a nice big fluffy brush, some of the Kat Von D Alchemist palette, the green emerald color. Alright, that's going a little more cool tone than what I'd envisioned, so I'm going to use a bit of the Makeup Geek Wildfire. There we go, that's what I was going for. You know, when you're doing makeup, sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, especially when you're doing something like this where you're getting ready to go out. Maybe not the best time to experiment with stuff, but whatever. I'm ready to go now, and that's all that matters. I need to run out the door right now because I need to go to my concert, so I will see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky, just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.